Subtitle for this piece is "The Labour Leader is a Ruthless Pragmatist."
Well, he's fucking hell, man.
It's one reading.
It is definitely one reading. Right, here we go. The most mentioned word in Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince.
Oh, come on! Oh, fuck off. Actually, fuck off. Jesus Christ. Come on, Aaron. You're quote me Art of War while you're at it, mate. God damn.
That handbook in how to deploy power is necessity.
It was a satire! It was a fucking satire! He wrote it as a satire at the time to get in good with the new administration, and ironically, people took it at face value. Just,
What you're saying is Machiavelli's The Prince was the Fight Club of its day.
Kind of, yeah. Like, that's actually not a really bad comparison.
Right? I mean, there is still historical debate as to whether or not he meant it or whether or not it was meant as satire, because he also does a thing, I can't remember the other book, I've read it years and years ago, about Livy, where he talks about the formation of the Republic, but the Prince is essentially, for those of you who don't know, it's like a sort of... in the best way possible, it is a how-to manual if you are a new prince or a conqueror of a city-state. What is the best way to rule? And the bit that people always remember is what's the best way to rule? Is it through love or fear? And the prince essentially in basis recommends fear because that is more lasting and has less chance to curdle. But this is not... Whatever, we could get into some Machiavelli while we're in this. More than virtue or fortune, it is necessity, and grasping what is necessary to achieve a particular end that is central to his vision of political skill. It's just like... necessity, it's just like... What he seems to be making a virtue out of, at least to some extent, is like... Starmer is a man totally devoid of all real principle. He just wants power for power's sake and because he believes the Labour Party deserves to be in power. I think that's a fair summary at the core of it.
That's called pragmatism, yes.
And that this is like that actually... and therefore being willing to do anything, and we are like recording in the week...
It's called pragmatism when MI5 tells you to do stuff, and the more stuff they tell you to do, the more pragmatic it is.
Paul Mason, a pragmatic man. While he may have the charisma of a damp cloth, Keir Starmer seems...
May. When he may. The jury's still out on that one. Fucking hell.
While he may have the charisma of a damp cloth, Keir Starmer seemingly understands that, besides much else in Machiavelli. So that referring to necessity, apparently. Increasingly, it is the word that defines his 2.5 years as Labour leader. It is why he should be regarded as a formidable politician.
Okay.
Cool. Sure, buddy. It's just like whatever's fucking expedient at the time and whatever gets him closer to like MI5 and or like sniffs of power or a corporate donation. Yeah, it's not actually just like the politics of mediocre neoliberalism. It's Machiavellian necessity. He's fully automated luxury Renaissance Florence, if you will.